August 27th, 1979. A car is driving west on County Road 5 in Marshall County, Minnesota. The spot is some 10 minutes west of Stephen and 22 miles northwest of Warren, where the nearest county sheriff's office is located. In the car is Deputy Val Johnson, a happily married father of 3 and on the sheriff's department for 3 years. While still driving west, Val, for the first time, sights a bright light hovering about 6 feet above the ground. At first, he thought it might be a semi with a headlight out. But at second glance, it might be a downed aircraft, and maybe there are survivors. He presses down the accelerator.
The light at first seemed to be motionless, but as he approaches, Johnson noticed that the light is racing toward him. There's no sound, only a blinding glare as the light hurtles toward him, and at the last minute before going unconscious, the sound of breaking glass. When Johnson regained consciousness, he found his car had skidded sideways across the road and stalled. He was hunched over the steering wheel, and his eyes burned like wildfire. He groped for the microphone that would put him in touch with the sheriff's department.
400,
Go ahead, 407.
1088, 220, 51.
What's your condition?
I don't know. Something just hit my car. I don't know how to explain it. Strange.
What's your condition? Are you okay?
Something attacked my car. I heard glass breaking and then locked. I don't know what happened.
I'll get a hold of 406 and send him right away.
Number 406 was Deputy Greg Winkowski, who sped to the scene as soon as he heard of Johnson's predicament. He found Johnson still half slumped over the steering wheel, and he pulled the door open and helped Johnson into a sitting position.
Val, what happened here?
I don't know. What the hell happened? Something attacked my car.
Winkowski noticed a red bump on Johnson's forehead. It seemed to him that Johnson may have been in shock.
What kind of car was it?
It wasn't a car. I don't know what the hell it was.
Sheriff Dennis Brecky and Deputy Everett Doolittle arrived, and an ambulance was dispatched. After the 2 deputies and ambulance had driven away, Brecky circled the car, whistling occasionally in disbelief. He cataloged in his mind the damage that he saw.
1, one headlight smashed to pieces. 2, a small circular dent hammered into the upper hood. 3, the windshield in front of the steering wheel shattered, yet still in one piece. 4, a whip antenna on the trunk bent in its upper portion at a right angle. And 5, a red plastic light filter punctured and dislodged from its lamp housing. What kind of wreck causes this kind of damage?
The ambulance had rushed Val to the hospital in Warren, and Dr. Pensnell checked him over for broken bones, concussion, the usual things after a car wreck, but there were none.
But my eyes were burning like crazy.
There seems to be a pinkish irritation across the surface of both eyes. I applied salve and bandages, and I sent Mr. Johnson home.
A call was placed to Alan Hendry, an investigator for the Center of Unidentified Flying Object Studies. He came to Marshall County as soon as he heard the story.
We learned of the Val Johnson case in much the same manner we learn about most of our sighting reports. The deputy contacted us directly via our 800 toll-free number, which we've issued to 10,000 police departments around the country. But this case is very striking for the simple reason that a law enforcement officer reported a sighting that left behind damage to his car and injury to his own eyes immediately following the accident. The biggest mystery about the Val Johnson case to me is trying to find one neat explanation for something to behave the way he described it, yet create the kind of damage we've analyzed and discovered. Whatever happened to Val Johnson, it was not a hoax.
Never for an instant did any of the players in Val Johnson's drama story doubt his story. The Sheriff's Department stood by him all the way.
I've been Chief Deputy Sheriff in Marshall County for 8 years. I looked at that car myself. Val Johnson is a good fellow. He's a good officer, and he is a reliable person. My feeling is that whatever happened was strange and unknown. There is no doubt in my mind that Val was telling what he actually saw.
But the jury remains out on the strange occurrence. No matter how anyone tries, no one yet has offered a reason for what happened.
Since the stories become public, there have been stories that have come to me from people in the same area where I work about similar occurrences that have happened over the past years. They come forward and say, now that your story is public, I'll tell you what happened to me in 73 or 68 or even 28.
So decide for yourself. And if you're ever driving along County Road 5 in the vicinity of Highway 220 in Marshall County, Minnesota, drive carefully and keep an eye on the sky. There's no telling what you might see.